Hello, welcome along. Nigel with you again. Nigel's Model Invention. Yes, I'm sorry you've got to look at my ugly mutt yet again. You'll have to look at it again tomorrow or the next day because it's the end of the month and we have our monthly roundup, don't we? So here we have the brand new Verifier 1/350th Imperial Japanese Takao. Takao. It's not Takao, like I've been calling it, or Takao. It's Takao, apparently. So it's Takao. But you need to make it flow. The kit number is 350904. That's right. I couldn't remember if it was 0094 or 0904. So yeah, it's brand new. It will be coming into Tiger Hobbies soon, probably end of May, I'm thinking. It is an absolutely beautiful kit. If you want to see a review of it quickly done, go on over to Send Navy. I'll put a link in the description below the video. He's a fantastic modeler. He's a Taiwanese guy, and he does mainly IJN stuff. He's a big fan of Verifier. Verifier are a big fan of him, and he's currently doing 3 builds, one in all in line with each other. He's doing the Verifier Yamato, the Tamiya Premium Edition Yamato, and the border model Yamato, and proving just in every aspect how much better the Verifier is. I guess some would argue that the border model is better because it's got more in the way of 3D printing and stuff, which makes things a lot easier. You haven't got so much to assemble with etch, but you've also got then the point that they've got sort of railings on guns and they're all a bit fat and everything. So I personally think the Verifier is the best. I haven't got the border model, I don't want it, but I've got the I've got 2 of the Verifier ones, and I've got the Tamiya one, and without doubt the Verifier is value for money and everything. It's tops, especially the advanced one. So anyway, as some of you all know, I've had a cold. It seems to be going. Today is Sunday the 30th, and it's a lovely bright sunny day. You may see lots of little pauses in the video. That's because I'm stopping to cough. I'm sorry about that, but that's the reason this video hasn't come out sooner. I received this kit on Wednesday or Thursday, and I wanted to do a video of it before that, but I wanted it to be a bit more professional. So without further ado, I need to cough now. Let's get to the bench and see what's in the box. Okay, so here she is in all her beauty. As we can see from the front of the box art, we've got this Beaver Corporation thing again, which is something to do with the Chinese doing Japanese stuff. It's all political. And you can see here we've got the sticker on here showing this is the deluxe version. With this one, there isn't an advanced version. There's just the standard kit, and there's this one, and I would thoroughly recommend this one. Basically, I'll tell you in a minute what you're getting extra in there. I'm not sure of the cost of the standard kit, but it's probably about £50 less than this one. So here you can see along the box we've got this array of 3 turrets at the front, which is very nice. We've got this beautiful superstructure. We've got the slanted back funnel there, a straight funnel and a slanted back funnel. Following this, all the ships had slanted back funnels, and then we can see our mast with the top painted in black. We've got the Japanese flags there, Hiru, whatever it's called, and then here we've got catapults, so we've got our aircraft to take off as well. And then on the side here you can see we've got the slots here for the torpedoes, and this one's actually I think when she was first built, she had twin torpedoes, and then she was given quad torpedoes. So this is 1940. Okay, quick bit of history that I've got from good old Drakenfell. She was basically laid down. She was one of 4. She was basically laid down in 1927 and commissioned in 1932, originally to fall in the Washington Treaty of 10,000 tons. Yeah, right. She had 132,000 shaft horsepower and a 5-inch belt armor, which was absolutely incredible, and was actually came out about 11,500 tons. And then this was further exacerbated when they decided to give her, as I just said, instead of having twin torpedoes mounts, she had quads, which gave her a total of 16. Then they upgraded the torpedoes to a better or larger standard or whatever. The single in 1944. The single 4.7-inch guns here on the sides, there's 4 positions, were changed for twin 5-inch. They added dozens of 25mm AA guns, So yeah, I mean, she was probably about 13,000 tons in the end, and then she had to end up having loads of ballast to balance her out to stop her just falling over, which put most of the belt armour under the water. So we're back to Taiho again, aren't we? Which also sat very low because she was so heavily armoured. So yeah, and then finally the Battle of the Leyte Gulf, the four ships, her and her sisters, had a really good time actually, up until the Battle of the Leyte Gulf in 1944, where two of her sisters were hit and sunk by subs straight away. Takao was also struck by a sub and sent limping back to port, never to sail again, so one can only assume she was scrapped. And then the fourth one, which I can't remember the name of now, was badly damaged and then scuttled by her own crew. And unfortunately with that one, the actual crew were rescued by a Japanese destroyer, which itself was sunk. So a bit of a tragic end really, but very successful for the Japanese during the war. So beautiful looking ship. I haven't yet found out, I need to go and check, I need to find out what arsenal colour she should be in, because obviously you've got Curie Arsenal, you've got all the other Sasebo and all that. So we'll have to make sure we find out which one so we can spray her in the correct colour paint. I think I'm going to have a go at building this, to be honest, and I think it'll be a very enjoyable build. But anyway, maybe we'll do a Yamato instead, we shall see. But here we go, lovely, really beautifully done artwork, lovely rigid box. It came in a protective cardboard sleeve and has arrived undamaged. You can see on the side of the box here, we have a, is that a CAD image or a photograph? It's hard to tell. I think that's quite possibly a CAD image. Maybe not, because we can see through the windows. I'm not sure. But that's basically the standard kit with the photo etch fitted and everything. That is not the advanced kit. And then here in Japanese, Chinese, whatever, we've got lots of bits and pieces. And this is basically going to be all what I've just told you there. And then turning the box over, we have some lovely coloured images of her as she was in 1944. We've got the Jake and the Pete float planes, so same as the Yamato. And then here we've got some very fire paint call-outs. Now, I'm yet to see these colours. I'm not sure if these are hobby colour or what they are, but I've yet to see. I don't think they are. So let me know what you think, if they're Mr. Hobby. Anyway, so here we go. So opening the box, as you can see, just holding the lid, it's a really nice box, and even the lid is nice thick cardboard, which is nice to see. So in the box here you can see the packaging is lovely. We've got this is your aftermarket set, so we're going to look at that in a minute. And this is your standard kit instructions. So if you get the standard kit, you will get all of the plastic, okay, that you can see here. You will get 3 sheets of photo etch, a decal sheet, some anchor chain, and also you get 3D printed resin. And that is the standard kit, guys. Very Fire really do look after us. So much better than a lot of other manufacturers, especially Tamiya, when it comes to ships. So yeah, really, really nice. You've got all those 3D printed resin parts, which is great because you'll have lots and lots of fine detail on there. We've got the 3 photo etch sheets there, so that's going to be our decks. And it looks like, from what I can see here, from watching people build, you know, people who really know what they're doing, like Sen Navy, Amigraphy and all that, a lot of these ships have like a linoleum deck, and the sheeting is held down with brass strips. So rather than having a deck with raised plastic that you basically sand off, fit with bits of photo etch, or you try and paint it with a nice brass colour, what they've done is given us a flat deck. I assume it's a flat deck, and then you've got the photo etch sheets to go on top to imitate the brass. So you can either attach the photo etch, get it all securely down, paint it, and then just lightly sand away the paint from the raised areas, exposing the brass, or you could paint the floor and then glue the brass down afterwards. Up to you. Lots and lots of generic frets here. You can see there's a I think that one's pretty generic. I think a lot of these IU, IE, I think they're all generic, and you'll find them also in Yamato kits. So there we go. So we'll have a look at the instructions in a minute. So as far as packaging goes, once again, we've got the hull in 2 halves. Now, I'm going to have to get this up to the camera close when I get these parts out, because This hull is something else. I thought Yamato was nice. This is just absolutely incredible. And as usual, what they've done, they've got this very thick sprue which is clipped into the box and is very difficult to get out. Just get this lifted up and I can push this up through, can I? Okay, looks like what you have to do. They should give us instructions on how to get out of the bloody packaging, shouldn't they? So it looks like you have to do is try not to hit the camera, get it sideways and then pull it out and pull it through. There we go. So you can see now what we've got here. We've got all our photo etch sellotaped in. Now for some reason this has been ripped off before. I don't know why. They've obviously put some photo etch in there and then changed their mind. I do know, one thing I will tell you guys with Verifier, they are absolutely fantastic at listening to the modeler. I've seen Sen Navy's latest review and I've seen Sen Navy's first review of his test shot. And one of the comments was that there was no strapping. So you've got the beautiful moulded on degaussing cable. Take note, Tamia. And you've got this the straps that hold it on, and they weren't there, and they've actually now got them moulded in. So you can look on there and you can see on that degaussing cable, you can see you've got those beautiful straps. So you can imagine when this is painted and washed or whatever, it's going to look amazing. We've also got all the hull plating here, which you may think is slightly overdone, but it is very, very crisp, very sharp and very clean. And we also have in there, maybe I'll turn the light on its side, try and get a shadow going. But we also have in there, I don't know if you can see, we've got all the beautiful rivets, which are absolutely stunning. Okay, so the hull is in 2 halves. And what I'll do, I'll get it under the camera so you can have a good old look and see all the detail of all the portholes. You can see there's some portholes which are plated over, obviously because she was sitting lower in the water, they've plated some over. And you can see a lot here plated over. Some of this was to stop reflection, so at night obviously the glass of the porthole would reflect. If a light was shone on it, you'd get a very large reflection because of the shiny glass against the dull grey hull. You can see the plating continues all the way underneath. Hull is in 2 halves. We've got the there's the armour plating there. You can see it's 5-inch. It's already moulded on. Apparently the Aoshima kit of Takao, they have that as a separate part, which makes it a bit awkward. And I did pick up Sen Navy saying something about this here is separate as well. So you end up with a seam here to deal with. Whereas Verifier have gone for the dedicated, we're doing Takao, so we're not going to try and make one tool make 30 different ships. We're going to make Takao. So thank you very much for that, Verifier. It is much appreciated. Also very strange here, you can see the portholes come along here and follow the deck, and then oof, they go off at an angle. It's really weird where the deck goes down at the stern. But you can see some very fine detailing, very fine moulding on there. Very, very crisp. I love these IJN hulls, the way the bow is shaped. I really do like them. It's very similar to Megami, isn't it? So there is our hull. Obviously there's no interior detail because there's nothing to be seen, but we do have the Hasegawa style side pieces coming in. We have some holes here. There's holes here, and there's one there and one there. I'm guessing we are possibly going to be doing some drilling for certain variants or certain different periods or whatever. But I think this is set up, like I say, a lot of manufacturers try to get so many different kits out of one tool. It looks like what they've done here is given us Takao 1944. Now it could be that you can do 42 with this hull, and that'll entail drilling some of these holes. I don't know, but there we go. Okay, so we've had a look at the hull. And as I say, with this wonderful packaging, we've got our photo etch here, which is all very nice. And we can see on the top there's one of the frets from the standard kit. Now what we'll have to do, we'll have a look at all that in a minute. But first of all, we're going to have a look at the instructions. Okay, so here we have the manual. And on the front of here in English, we've got all the history and everything. So basically what I'm going to do like a... It's all going to be in one video, but we'll talk about 2 different kits in one review. So basically we'll look at the standard kit first of all. So here's our sprue call out, as you've already seen. So we've got the hull halves, we've got all our decking there, we've got all our funnel, some bits and pieces of superstructure here. and then got some other sprues, and then here we've got the generic ones. Okay, so these are lovely sprues, and you'll notice that when we look at the parts, they are beautifully molded, very crisp, very clean, no silly ejector pin marks, really nicely done. And then here we've got all our 3D printed resin, and that will be all in a box. I'm assuming it will be in a box, and it will be beautifully done. I haven't been through this kit myself, so I don't really know. Right, so going into the manual here, you can see at the start, we've got our deck. We need to ascertain whether the deck is upside down in this picture or the right way up, because otherwise you might be drilling holes wrong. But it's telling us here where to drill holes, and boy oh boy, there's a few of them, and it's also given us all the sizes. So we're going to need a 0.8, 0.5, a 1 mil, 0.8, 0.5, 1 mil drill. So you need, oh, there's a 0.6 is there. Oh, here's those holes in the hull halves I was showing you. Those two at the ends we're not opening, but we are opening these little ones that are on the inside by the armoured belt. So very interesting. And then moving across here, you can see we're starting with the assembly. They've got this kind of, it's like Great Wall Hobby with colour. They're showing you all the parts going in. You can see here, they've got like on these parts here around the stem, you've got the chrysanthemum there, which is G39 in the gold. You've got the blue, you've got the red, and you've got the green. So it's really nice that they're giving us all these different colours to show the different parts, rather than just having 4 arrows with parts. So I like that, what they're doing there. You know, if it wasn't in colour, it would be less clear to see. We're going to make up some winches here. So obviously we've got plastic inner parts with beautifully moulded on hoses and ropes or whatever they are, which is really nice. Even if you look at the 1/200 scale Yamato, it's just got spindles, but these are really nicely done. We'll look at those parts in a minute. So you can see here, and also one of the issues with the Yamato that was pointed out by myself and Sen Navy was they didn't have the quantities to make on the instructions, so you had to go back and have a guess. So the hull halves are coming together. We're adding in the bilge keels. Nice to see they're separate, so we're going to get nice slender bilge keels, and then adding in the drive gear and the rudder and everything there. It's just got the single rudder on this one, no auxiliary. Very nice done indeed. So you might wish to leave this off for now. You might wish to leave them off for now until you've got the sort of the first level of decking done, because there is no stand. You may wish to drill some holes and stand on a bit of wood or something. Right, so this is where it gets a bit weird. The instructions go sort of end on. So you can see here, building up our torpedo tubes. It's worth noting here, what you need to do is remember these instructions are for the standard kit. So if you've got the standard kit, you can just follow these instructions to the book, to the page, and you'll be absolutely fine. But if you have got the aftermarket set, you may well find that there are 3D printed torpedo launchers to replace these or something. So get your other book out, get your other manual out. This is the detail up set, they're calling it. I'm just looking here. It looks like we do have torpedo parts here. So yeah, be very careful. You go on and put the plastic ones on, and then you'll find you've got some 3D printed resin ones left over at the end. So this is for the standard kit, but as I say, get through the instructions, make all your notes, and then as you've made a note in here, a light pencil line through the part on here will basically get you, so you know. And then if you've got parts on here that aren't crossed out, you know you haven't covered them in here, so you need to make a note. It's a shame they haven't done a separate manual including all of these parts, but that would be very costly indeed. So very time consuming. And of course the other thing is, as I said earlier with Verifier, one of the things they do which I really respect, they keep adding. If you get a deluxe edition Yamato, the latest version, it is better than one you bought a year ago. Okay, they just keep adding bits, so that they're not even in the instructions. It's all of a sudden you go and buy a kit and you find, hang on a minute, we've got a load of 3D printed searchlights here, and they only show the plastic ones in the instructions, but you've got 3D printed ones in the box. So it's worth noting and worth having a good look at what you've got. So here we're going through, we're adding those winches that we made earlier. We're adding these are they divots on the side, or davits, I'm not sure what they are. And then we're adding in our torpedoes here. And you can see once again they've got all the parts brightly coloured, so you can see where they go. And we've got the photo etch decking going down. So as I say, you may wish to paint your deck first and then put that down on top. or just come along and scrape the paint off afterwards very carefully. So there we go. So our deck's gone down. Did we actually add the deck on the previous page? No, we didn't. So we've actually gone from there to over the page, and the deck's in there. So there we go. Was the deck one piece? No, it's not. Or is it? Yes, it is. The deck is one piece, so that's all straightforward. Brilliant. Okay. Right. Sorry, as I say, I'm not familiar with this kit. So, and then we're going to come and do some work on the stern, basically the same we've done up there. And we've got some splinter shields there going in for our 25mm anti-aircraft guns going in the rear. Got some what I call tie downs there, and then we've got some little greeblies going on the side all the way down. We've got some nests for our boats there, for our ship's boats. So they're photo etch parts, and you have to fold them. What I do really like with Verifire, which is something that would help you vastly if you are new to photo etch and stuff, they tell you that something needs to be bent. I think that generally means it needs to be rolled. But here you've got a red line for an upfold and a green line for a downfold. How brilliant is that? So basically you can look at this, okay? I mean, they're symmetrical anyway, so it doesn't really apply, but we'll see something in a minute that's more complex, and they're telling you which way to fold certain bits, so you can work out how to fold it all up. So there's your crutches there going in for your boats. And then coming over here, flip over, and we've got some triple machine guns going in. Yeah, 25mm triples. It says to make 8 of those. So again, over here, we're probably going to have 3D printed parts, 25mm triples. There we go, we've got 6 of them in there, and we've got to make 8 of these. So we've only got 6. I don't know why. Unusual. I don't know why they've only given us 6, but we can look at that when we actually do the build, if we do the build. And then we've got lots and lots of little bits and pieces going on. We've got some paravanes there. Again, we probably get, yes we do, we get 3D printed paravanes if you get the deluxe kit. So there we go, coming way through, all of our little bits and pieces going on. We've got some 24mm twins, 25mm twins going together there. And yes, we do, we get the 25mm twins, and we get 4. So they're saying here make 8, that might be a misprint, maybe there's only supposed to be 6. So, okay, so coming over the page, we're back to standard now. So building up some superstructure parts, we've got some more gun emplacements going on there. We've got this box building up in 4 parts, so you know we're going to get really nice detail on there. We've got these decks with the grip plating going on the bottom, and then we've got here, we've got this. This is no doubt going to be replaced with photo etch on the advanced version, or the DX version should I say. And then here we've got searchlights going together. We're going to have 3D printed searchlights. All of this here is going to be replaced with photo etch, no doubt. And then we've got all the assembly there, and you can see it's all in these bright colours, so you can see all the different parts, where they go and how it should be assembled. Beautifully done. Same here, same here. We've got our triples here, we've got our twins there, and then we've got searchlights, and we've got some triples here. So I'm not sure if that's, yeah, that's the same as that. So there's the triples there, and it's also showing you the ammo boxes going on as well. They're not supposed to be painted that bright green, mind, just remember that. And then here we've got, what is this here? This is walkways or something, is it? Or just structure to take the weight? I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it's part of the superstructure anyway. I think that's upside down, that's the correct way up. And then again, we've got all these bits and pieces going together. We've got some ducting going on, and that's all going to go down onto that main piece of superstructure there. And as you can see, we've got all these little end pieces going on as well. And then we're on to the mass. Now I know that if you've got the DX set, all of this is supplied in brass, so have a look at that. You've also got your radar going on the top. That is also supplied in brass in the upgraded set. And then you've got the rear mast here. We've got soldier standby room, whatever that means. I've seen that before. And then we've got the aft funnel and the main funnel, as you can see, going together here. I know from seeing Sen's review there's a lot of 3D parts to go into here, so you're not using a lot of this plastic at all. And then we've got some binoculars. So we've got binoculars 6cm, 8cm, 12cm, 18cm. So that's all pretty good. I know they're going to be 3D printed as well. We've got a flight deck here. Now I'm just looking here, it says B9. Yes, it is a separate part. Okay, I was wondering if it was just part of the main deck. And then you've got here the track and everything going around, and you've got all these photo etch parts to go onto there to give you the tracking, as you can see here. In fact, that is all photo etch, and then you're going to plonk that down on top of your flight deck. So that's very nice. I kind of wish they do this in stainless steel, because it's a lot easier to keep it straight with stainless steel. It's a shame they haven't got it all as folded up as well. That might make life a bit easier. But anyway, whatever. And we've got the photo etch frame going around the side here, you can see. But remember, this is all the standard kit now. This is not the additional stuff. Then we got a 12-meter transport boat, beautifully done with a separate upper part and lower part. These boats will be gorgeous. Got the aft funnel, the main funnel, and then we've got the soldier standby room going down. The motorboat's going in here, and then we've got the soldier standby room B. 11-meter motorboat, make 2 of those. Okay, no colour call-outs through the instructions. It's all at the end here. You can see we've got all the colour call-outs. And then coming down here, we've got, we're starting to build up the bridge. It's got the bridge here. I'm not sure if we've got clear windows to go on the bridge. It looks like we've got photo etch there for the framing. I think the front of the bridge is all portholes, isn't it? So we can drill those out. And it's all going together. We've got the binoculars going inside there. Binoculars going around this deck here. Binoculars on there. Just got lots of holes to drill out. We'll probably get photo etch flooring for this in the advanced set. And as you can see down here, we have lots and lots of colour going on to show us where everything goes. Fantastic idea. And then we've got Tower Bridge. That's a place in Bristol, I think. And then that's what, again, we've got all these different colours to show where everything goes. And I think they keep the colours in keeping all the way through, don't they? Just looking here to see if they keep the same colour. So if once a part becomes yellow, it's always yellow. Not sure. But yeah, that structure there is going together with the hull type stiffeners on the inside. There we are. Mitsubishi F1M Pete, F1M2 Pete, and then we got the Aichi E13A Jake. So we're going to build up those. I think it's just one each of those, and then they're going to go with their little trolleys onto the catapults, and then we're going to mount the catapults onto the hull, as you can see here, onto the flight deck. And then here we're building up the turrets. So we've got our number 1, 2, and 3 turrets here. So, and then we've got our 4 and 5 turrets here. Now here it says number 3 and 5, number 1. We have to be very careful here. We'll have to study this again, because we've got F24, F27. We've got holes there that we're not drilling and holes that we are drilling, and the same here. So does this... Yeah, this is not exactly clear. I'll work it out, guys, and I'll let you know. But this is that following the way along there? And then, or are we doing this and then that? I really can't work it out. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Okay, I think I've worked it out. So if you are getting one of these, you might want to save this little bit. So it looks like F24 is only used in number 3 and 5 gun turrets. There's going to be 2 of those, okay? And you're only going to drill out those 2 small holes there. And they are for this little part here, F29, okay? Which is probably some sort of air vacuum thing, changing the air inside the turret. So that's the assembly there for 3 and 5. This one here, this is number 1, so it's on its own, and it's using F27, and you've got a couple of holes to drill at the back here, you can see, and this is for this little, for the rangefinder that's going to go across the back, alright? And then these little 2 holes here for that same part there, F29. So that's all clear. Now when you come to here, you've got number 4, and it's the same as that one. So you've got the rangefinder going at the back, so you've got the 2 holes for that, and you've got those 2 holes for this part here, F29, going in, okay? And then when you come down to here, you've got number 2. They're not showing you any of the assembly sequence because it's the same as all the others, but basically it's the same here as F27 there, but you've got these 2 holes you're drilling out, and that's for that mast on there. So it's very much like Yamato. The only real difference is the mast, and it looks like they've got different range finders, but you don't open those holes in F. I don't know why they've put those holes in F24, because they don't have them. So number 3 and number 5 don't have range finders. The others all do. Okay, and then the difference there is number 2 has the antenna. All right, so bear that in mind. So we've got some 127mm anti-aircraft guns. We've got 4 of those. So remember, they replaced the 4.5 inch one, or 4.7 inch, and now we've got 127mm, which is 5-inch twins. So yeah, she's armed up pretty bad. So there we go, and you can see there we're basically adding all these bits and pieces on to complete the build. And then here we've got lovely images of the model as pretty much complete. So if you are stuck with where something goes, you can come to the back here and see where it goes. And then we've got some 25mm singles here. So there's 4, 7, 9. There's only 2 on that side. And then we've got another, somewhere there's hundreds of, there'll be hundreds of them. They'll be everywhere, plastered in them. So there we go. They realised by the end of the, well, getting close to the end of the war, obviously they didn't realise it was the end of the war at the time, but they needed massive anti-aircraft capability. So there we go, and then you can see there's basically the assembly all together, showing you how it all goes, and all these lovely coloured parts to show you, just like Airfix do. And that's it. So that's basically the build. Now we can come over here and we can look at our colour callouts. Now I'm just going to have a little stop a minute. I'm just going to check these aren't Mr. Hobby, because I've got a few of the Mr. Hobby colours. In fact, no, because I've just bought C39, I think, well, no, 59. I'm going to quickly check these and see what colour they are. I can confirm these are not Mr. Colour colours, even though they've got a C, because C33 in Mr. Colour is flat black, CO5 isn't. So just do a cross-reference. As I say, I need to find out where she was laid down. Okay, she was laid down at the Yokosuka Naval Arsenal on April the 28th, 1927. So, Yokosuka Arsenal is... That's the Missouri Arsenal. LP15. There you go. LP15 is the Yokosuka Arsenal. There we go, LP15. And the one I normally use, LP12, which I'm using all over my, which is the colour for Yamato, which I'm using all over my Porsche, you can see there's quite a difference. That's the Yokosuka, that's the Cure Arsenal. So make sure you get the right colour. Some manufacturers will label their paint IJN grey. It's not right, especially if you're modelling your ship as new. The deck colour, linoleum deck colour, is LP17, and then the underhull colour, LP18. So there you go. So yeah, a very lovely looking build. They're telling you in here number 8, which is tan, so that's going to be deck tan for the wood. And then we've got number 5, which is dark grey here. Okay, so that's going to be the grey for the side of the ship. You could perhaps use some different greys and then some weathering and stuff just to add a bit of interest. That there is going to be sail colour, which I don't know the number in Mr. Colour. I got it in Mr. Hobby. But yeah, so basically, and also if you are interested in Mr. Colour paints, Rob over at Brooks Models, brooksmodels.com, this company here, he's going to be stocking Mr. Colour paints very soon. He's going to build up the range over a number of weeks, but they're really becoming my favourite paint at the moment, because I'm starting to go off the LPs a bit. Some of them are very difficult to use because they're so thin, and they, you know, you thin them and then they just become water. And the other thing I found with LP, I don't know if you agree, but it's like if you take an XF66, whatever colour that is, and you add a bit of thinner and you add a bit more and you add a bit, yes, that's good. I find with LP, you add a bit of thinner, you add a bit of thinner, a little bit more, bang, it's gone. It's turned to water. So I'm not really a big fan of Tamiya LP paints at the moment. I'm going off them. So we've looked at the instructions. So now we can look at here. This is the detail upset. Okay, so I'm going to have to move this up and down because it's so huge. It's like A3 size, I think. But basically you can see that this is what you're getting on top of everything you've just seen. So this is all your CNC scribe brass parts. So basically it's turn metal parts. So we've got a load of metal barrels here. We've got mast parts. we only have 203mm barrels. So we got 10 of those, so that's enough for our 5 main turrets. We don't have barrels for the 127mm, but we have 127mm 3D printed guns. We also have 203mm blast bags in the resin. So basically, instead of having to build up those guns with all bits of photo etch and everything, stick that on there, stick it on the deck, done. Okay, and that is the beauty of the 3D printed parts. The downside to them is if you catch the barrels, they will snap quite easily. Same here with the 25mm twins and triples. Stick that in there, stick it to the deck, done. Okay, there we go. So yeah, you can see on here we've got all the metal parts there. We've got the bits, which are basically the tie-offs, aren't they? The bollards, whatever you call them. And then we've got swimming booms coming out the side of the ship, and these are all our mast parts. All right, so you'll have fun with all that. Ensign staff, jack staff. I don't know if the Japanese were the same as the British, but the British took these down as soon as they left dock. 3D printed resin parts. So we have 203mm water blast bags for 10, 203mm gun turrets part A. I'm not exactly sure what that is. We've got some 6cm binoculars. We've got 8cm binoculars. We've got 12cm binoculars. And we've got 18cm binoculars. So we've got all our binoculars there, all in 3D printed resin, and they will be much, much nicer than the plastic parts. We've got electric winches here for the decks. We've got all of our twin and triple guns here. Searchlights, catapult parts. These are going to go up inside a photo etch base to make it all look very interesting. We've got our paravanes here to go on the deck, so no need to use the plastic parts. We've got vents. That piece for the bow, I'm not sure if that's got the chrysanthemum on it or not. I'm just looking now. Difficult to see. We'll have a look in a minute. So we've got that part there for the stem, and then we've got survey telescope towers, mast RP. Not exactly sure what that is. And then we got all our single 25mm. So we saw those all going on at the end of here. At the end of the instructions, we saw all our single 25mm going down. You've got all those in 3D printed resin. So stick 2 parts together, stick it on the deck, job done. And there's the mounts there. We've got a 12cm gun crew loading exercise machine. Okay, interesting. We've got torpedo part A, torpedo part B. So it looks like we've got 8 of those. That's unusual because we have 16 torpedoes. Not sure what's going on there. And then we've got, this is, yes, believe it or not, guys, we have our aircraft cockpit interiors in 3D printed resin. There you go. So you can paint those in the correct colours. We've got some vents there. We've got mast RPB. So we've got mast RPA, mast RPB. Not sure what that is. Mast RPC. So that's the main platform for the mast. We've got funnel parts here. So you've got the mesh to go over the top of the funnels. And then we've got the internal baffles for the funnels as well, all in 3D printed resin. You don't have to use those PE crutches for the boats because we've got those there all in 3D printed resin. We've got the tops of the funnel chutes, more crutches there, more funnel parts. Then we've got our radar, the ones that look like horns, just out of the same as on Yamato. And then we've got the mast RPD, so we've got another part here, E and F, so we've got lots of parts for the masts. 40cm searchlights, mast RPG and H, more parts for the mast. RP15, so this is a instead of having lots of separate pieces of PE going underneath one of the platforms, we're just going to have a single piece of resin, stick it on. Lower direction lookout, there's 2 of those there, and we've got some searchlights, we've got the searchlight stands, and then we've got some searchlights and their stands, and then the main director control tower, we've got 2 of those. Very nice indeed. So when you come over the page as well, the contents continue. Here's your additional 6 sheets of photo etch. Yes, if you don't like photo etch, you get 9 sheets in this one. Hey! So I love photo etch myself. And again, this is what I was saying, the fold up, fold down. I will show you more of that here now. So here we go. So as I say, when you look at this, okay, it was on the next but last page, wasn't it? Yeah, here we go. Gun assembly. Okay. So you can see here what we're doing. We're using the instructions together. So this instruction here, the big sheet, is not giving you any of the assembly instructions for the guns. But this instruction sheet here is giving you all the extra bits where they go. So this is why I say you need to come in, make a note, cross that number out. You're not going to use them because once you've glued them in, you'll make a bit of a mess of your guns. So don't use them and then find out later you could have replaced them. And also there may be little holes you need to drill for your photo etch to go in. There may be already indentations there in the plastic. Make your mind up how you're going to go about it. And then here you can see this part F19. So for the number 1 gun, you've got that part there, F19. You've got a 3D printed resin part to replace that. So again, put a line through that in your instructions so you know. Otherwise you'll glue that in and then find you got that part left over. Yeah, you don't want to get it wrong. We've also got all our blast bags in there. And you can see here we've got number 3 and 5 gun turrets. So again, we've got that piece in the top, photo etch railings and the barrels. And then here we have, this is our number 2 gun turret with the mast. And you can see we've got brass parts for our mast and we've got photo etch parts to actually support it. And here they're showing you when you got this part, again it's symmetrical so it's difficult to tell, but they're saying you fold that down. But basically if the bend is 90 degrees or more, then you need to have the groove facing you, so you bend it down. If the part is only, like, if it's only 20 degrees or something, have the groove facing you, and then when you turn it over, it looks a lot neater on the back. And then we've got a ladder going on the back, and we've got that another little replacement for that part. What was it? F19 there. So there we are. Then we've got our 127mm anti-aircraft guns, which are here. Again, you see you've got all these plastic parts to make up these guns. Okay. Yeah, so you've got the rangefinder sights or recoil, whatever it is, on the top, and then you've got the actual main body, the base, and the plastic side going on. Now, all you're going to do is take the base part A. All right. You've got a base part C going there, so that looks like some sort of aiming device, and then you're going to drop your barrels in. A couple of bits of photo etch where the operators stand. Okay, so you can see there they're showing how that goes in and everything. That's going to be folded, so it's a red line, so you're going to fold that up so that forms like a little shield around that, and then glue it in. Okay, so you don't need to use any of that. So if you've got like a really old Aoshima kit that's got some really softly molded parts, now you've got a load of 127mm plastic parts to replace them. Yes, they won't be as nice as them, but you've got those spares. Okay, so there we are. So I'm not going to do that for every page, but you get my meaning. So here, once again, break into the assembly, look at your instruction manual, make notes, make your mind up how you're going to go about it, and your build process. This is not for the beginner. This is only for experienced modelers, guys. So make sure you know what you're going to be doing, and you're going to have to bend this railing up to suit on there. Okay, same here, adding all these binoculars, so you've got all those plastic parts left over. Between this and Yamato Advance, you'll have a whole box of parts. I think if you've got another hull, you could probably make another ship. And then we've got that stiffener I was talking about that goes underneath. Rather than having all these separate photo etch parts like this, they've just done it in one, which is a really nice touch. And then we've got some steps with the railings at the top there going in. I can't see, do they tell us? Yes, they do. That symbol there means remove, and I can't see us having to remove anything other than here at the moment. So obviously these parts, I don't think they have a symbol for replace. No, they don't. So you see, that's a shame. If they had that on here, so that this these blast bags replace part F1, for instance, on those guns, it would make life a little bit easier for you. But hey, who wants an easy life, eh? Gussets going underneath there in the main structure, and then here we've got all these 3D printed parts replacing. We've got the radar, we've got that little bridge there in between, we've got the main director control tower, and we've got this this piece here. We've got the radars in there. Look, everything is called out. You just got to look out for it. And then here you've got basically an image looking from the front left of all the parts there, and then from the rear right there, with all the mesh and everything. Down here you can see where they're asking us to add photo etch to the kit parts. We've got kit D70, kit D71. Add the photo etch before you glue them on, and there's those parts there. Searchlights being assembled, and then you're going to drop them onto there. Okay, and then you've got 25mm triple mounts, and then we've got 25mm twin mounts. Okay, so they've got all the sights and everything on them. They are literally 2 parts glued together, job done. And then we've got our singles there. They're not telling us how many to make on here. They've gone back to their old ways, but not to worry, we can soon work that out. What I do need to find out is, and I'll probably try and find out before the end of this review, is why they only have 6 printed of these, and yet they tell you to make 8 of the plastic ones. So we'll have a look and see how many we're actually going to be using. Coming over the page here, I can see this being a 2-part review, guys. Coming over the page here, we have the actual catapults with the catapult part A. So we're going to fold all that up. You see we've got red lines on there, so that's telling you to fold it up. And then we've got a green line there telling you to fold it down. You've got the interior going into the aircraft here, and you've got a photo etch frame for your windows rather than having a solid plastic model or plastic canopy. You've got the catapult piece that the plane attaches to there, and then you're going to attach your planes onto your catapults. Funnel going together, so again we're going to be adding all these bits and pieces inside. Not exactly sure where this is going to fall into the game. What on earth is that? I can't see that in here anywhere. That'll take some working out, but it just appears there. It's part B28, B7 and B13. Yeah, we'll have to work that one out. And then here we've got these vents for the sides, and then we've got the caps going on the top, so you can see you've got the baffles going inside, and then we've got all this photo etch to add on the end. That's what that is. Okay, so we've got that piece on there. That's that sort of gusset support to stop the funnel falling over. And then here we've got more structure going underneath, more support for the funnel, and then all these I forget what they're called now, going around the outside of the funnel, and all the ladders going up and that. And then we've got these pieces on here, searchlights and stuff. Is that not searchlights or navigation lights? And then here we've got the crane. So the crane is being made up of all the brass parts and resin. Radar going on the top of the mast, main mast being built up there. And then here we're on our flight deck. So all of this comes in the standard kit, all this PE. We've got all these additional bits on here. We've got our 25mm single mounts there. And then we've got the, these are the pilot, the soldiers' waiting room or something they call them, didn't they? So we've got a triple mount there. They're calling that a twin, but it's a triple. That's a triple there. There's a single next to it. And then here we've got those parts here that I remember those plastic parts in the instructions. We're replacing those. We're replacing all these gussets underneath here. And then coming over the page, it's great this, isn't it? It just goes on and on and on. Coming over the page, we've got this piece here with all the photo etch underneath, and we've got a brass mast underneath. We've got a 3D printed control tower going on there. And then we've got these searchlights on their stands. More of the same, more of the same. And remember this all the way through. And you've got this fantastic structure here, which is all made up of photo etch and 3D printed. Oh, look, absolutely stunning. But the beauty of this is I think you could pretty much just build all this and then paint it grey. And then put some washes on and some chipping and stuff. If you go and watch Sen Navy's channel, that's what he tends to do. He tends to do a hell of a lot of building before painting. Right, so this is going to be quite interesting. So we've got, this is all going together on that piece of superstructure. Then here we've got torpedoes. So this is the actual, okay, so they are actual torpedoes. They're not torpedo launchers. So we're going to use the plastic launchers, but the actual torpedoes themselves, we're actually having them on these photo etch frames with all the photo etch bits and pieces on here, and there's those supports at the back. Wow, that's going to look stunning. Okay, paravanes going down, we've got our bits there, there's the crutches for the boats, and then more bits here, more bits here. You can see your cable reels here as per the instructions. There's electric winches going down there, 3D printed, remember. And then finally on this back page we've got the these are our swinging booms, so these come out and the ladders hang down. We're building up our ship's boats. We've got the rudder and we've got the actual propeller in there as well. We've got a piece of railing going around the back. We've got the ship's wheel and the stand for that, and then we've got the canvas cover going over. You can use that or not depending what you want to do. And then here we've got the wheelhouse in photo etch, so you're going to cut the plastic one off and add the photo etch one. You might want to use a bit of crystal clear on the windows, give it a bit of glazing. And then we've got the jackstaff going on the back with the life belt, and then we've got more photo etch here, photo etch railings going around the front. We've got oars for our little cutters here, rudder going on the back. It's absolutely gorgeous, this, isn't it? And then here we've got the little navigator's bits for bringing it into dock out here, sticking out the front. They might be folded back in during normal running, but you might want to have them sticking out along with your swinging booms. It adds a bit of detail, doesn't it? And then we've got our planes going on, we've got the cutters going in, motorboats. So it's just basically telling us all. I don't think we got boats, did we? They're actually kit parts, aren't they? Yeah, they're kit parts. So they're telling us to add the boats here. So, as I say, get into your instructions and make some proper notes, or scan them and go from there. I don't think I have a scan of these instructions. I may ask Sueya if she can provide me a link so that you can come in and print the instructions out yourself, and then you can write all over them rather than write all over this lovely manual. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I was going to do this as one video, but my throat is really playing up, and this has been 50 odd minutes long, and if I start doing the plastic, we're going to end up with an hour and 40-minute video. So I'm going to do the same as I did with the Gerald R. Ford. I'm going to do a two-parter. It won't be 4 parts, it'll just be the 2, I promise you. But there we go. So what a gorgeous kit. Let's have one more quick look at this hull. Just look at the detail on this hull. It's absolutely incredible. You know, I know with the Tamiya Yamato, where the degaussing cable is, you just get a single moulded line, like a seam line. And that's to make you go and buy their degaussing cable. So, but these, when they're moulded this nicely, I mean, this is better than the 1/200 scale from Glow 2B. I'm wondering, where's the point where it goes in? There should be a point where it stops and goes into the hull. I can't see it. Maybe that's something they've missed out. Who knows? But anyway, there we go. So that has been part 1 of this review of Verifire's absolutely brand new Imperial Japanese Navy Takao 1944. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.